So we have just exited the old town. So all of this inside of these things are the old town. So that's a nice area.
So the city centre.
Yeah.
Old town is a city
centre. And now
centre.
we're gonna walk slowly to worse and worse and worse and worse.
Well, I don't know what the case is around the rest of Sweden, but obviously here in Malmo, why is it that the migrants are put further away from the centre?
Why? Oh yeah, no, I know exactly why. So it's a long story of our social democratic rule. So we were one of the poorest nations in the 1800s, and in 1920 when it took over, they did forced modernization. In the beginning it was fine. It was more or less every room had to have a certain temperature, every room had to have a toilet, every room had to have that. Fine. And they just destroyed entire villages and rebuilt them. That's fine. But then in the 60s, urbanization has started happening even more and more and more because of all the changes. It's like, okay, to build proper housing in the same way we did previously is very expensive. So we need to create something new. So they call it miljonprogrammet, million program, where the houses were quicker built, a little bit inspired by the socialist blocks, because we had a...
Is this the million program?
Yeah.
In 1965?
Yeah. So the buildings were quickly done. Like, they're still good within, citation. But they were cheaper. Swedes didn't want to live at it because it's the reputation around these are like for poor people. So what happened is they stopped moving the people over there. And this became a trend that has kept on for today. And then there's a second thing. We have a lot of newly constructed buildings today, especially in the area between Copenhagen and Malmo. It's a place called Hylje.
Is that as you come off the Öresund Bridge?
Yeah, you saw how nice it was, yeah?
Are you being sarcastic?
Well, you know what I mean with nice. Modern.
I was good. The ones we saw, the first thing we said was we were driving over like, oh God, I wouldn't want to live in them.
Yeah, the architecture there sucks. Well, it's not pretty.
It's depressing architecture, isn't it?
But guess who lives there?
Migrants.
Yeah. And they're getting paid for by the government.
How many?
Because they're too expensive.
Do you know what sort of percentage of the million, the million program? What sort of percentage of those dwellings now have migrants in?
Majority. Absolute majority.
Yeah, it's interesting because when we were in Rosengård earlier, we saw on the side of one of them. It's a huge mural of it's an African woman and boy.
Yeah.
And you think, we're in Sweden.
Yeah.
We're in Scandinavia.
Yeah.
You know, the country everyone pictures blonde hair, blue eye.
But these areas are 90% foreign. 85% maybe, to be polite. Yeah. And again, they are very modern, very nice, quote unquote nice housing. But not like these. These are what Swedes like. In particular to the miljonprogrammet, because they are very monotone. Like, again, nice but monotone with the rest of everything. There is no uniqueness to them, there's no history to them. And it was just a program to house rural folk.
Yeah.
And I mean, most people have left it. Like majority of our actors and stuff like that. Many of them come from these houses and they talk about the coming up in these houses and the drug problems and other problems comes with it, and they got out of it. Some people can't leave, and then migrants come in instead, and it's paid for by the government. So in the 90s we had another change, change that fucked up this city in particular. For example, when I moved in the first time, the first thing that happened, first day, not all lady, like ladies in the 50s, came to the gate to the apartment complex, sat down and started to pee. So I was like, I opened the window, I had the window open looking down when she stopped peeing. I just started screaming at her, stop fucking peeing. And I was like, what the fuck, why is this a problem? Well, turned out, I learned out why this is a problem. Turned out in the 90s we had reform with the mentally ill or drug abusive problems, where instead of living in collectives, because we had like places where nurses and you lived, they had a little room there, everybody gets their own apartment. without any actual oversight. Well, they have some oversight. They have a girl who studies sociology, who comes and visit you 2 hours a day. That's it. Just to check that you haven't died, or you need to eat your food. And then they go and roam the street, peeing and doing whatever.
So, but by and large, where we are now,
Yep.
like, again, the visual and the statistics to me aren't matching up.
Correct.
So, like, if we're in a European city now,
Yeah. Yes.
I'm looking around everywhere, looking for where the attacker is.
No one.
Yeah,
I mean, you've seen
statistically, this is the country you're most likely to get raped
I mean,
in.
you've seen, yeah.
It
But you've
just
seen pretty much.
feels
This
relatively safe.
Yeah, you've seen majority of people here have been Swede. It was one Filipino kid, but otherwise everyone's Swede. And then you have these people who are the foreigners, for example. But they don't do anything because they're busy driving their mopeds. But it's the people without work that you're going to see.
So where do most of the attacks take place?
Most of them are inside their own homes, like in their own neighborhoods,
Yeah.
their backyards, where Swedes don't exist, where police don't exist, because they control it. Otherwise, it's I don't know. Like robbery happen on like villages usually. So it's again where police presence isn't existing.
Yeah.
Because they take advantage of whenever, because they can just move. We're soon entering the street. It's just down and then left. And we got places like this. Like this is for helping out people with no employment and helping out. I have a lot of these sort of systems where we help people in need, quote unquote, but just turn them into droids that don't do nothing. Just wasting their time here so they don't do any acts. We have a lot of these systems. Because it's a nanny state. It's a remnants of a nanny state. Because the government previously was directly caring about the health of the citizen in such regard, it pretty much is inside your house.
Yeah.
More like this. City house, this is housing for, well, all types. I don't know exactly this one, but it's either mentally ill or unga bungas. But it's still nice.
That's the thing, like your council housing, like it's.
Yep. The council housing.
I mean, you've been to England, haven't you?
Yeah,
You've
they're
seen
shit.
our council housing.
They're shit.
This is
That's our council housing.
luxury.
Yeah. No, you have it quite nice. Like the thing is with all, like if you're stuck in a system like this, yeah, it's not fun because you don't have agency, but you're comfortable.
Yeah.
So I usually say, like, if you look at the census, we don't do censuses, but if we did census, everyone under the age of 65 and look at their ethnic background, I'm worried it's not 50% Swedes anymore.
So how safe would I be walking on my own?
Safe.
Say 10 p.m. Rosengård, middle of the night.
Rosengård's safe. Here, no.
Okay, why? What's the difference?
They're playing FIFA or sleeping in Rosengård. Here they're selling drugs.
But like, do they not kind of almost, if you're not interfering with their business, they don't care for you?
No, they care. Yeah, fuck you, white man coming here. They stare at you.
Oh, so it's not Swedes?
Yeah, no.
Right,
Of course
okay.
it's not Swedes. Doing, like, selling the drugs? No, Swedes don't sell drugs. Some do, they buy drugs. It's a bit of an issue. Pompous people. Well, now we're entering the bad.
And what's this area called?
Mullevång, more or less, this entire area.
Mullevång.
Yeah. Palestinian flags?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you just continue, worse it gets.
So what's the genetic makeup of this area?
Majority white, because they're communists. But the people, they don't live here, because you don't shit where you eat. So they travel here, because here is a center point for the outskirts.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. The typical Swedish flag.
Yeah, you think big mamas with a Danish Swede has to be Swede? No, there's no Swedes in there. These are Ethiopians.
Oh, yeah.
Well, particular. So we have different, like we have Somali groups, or Ethiopian groups, we have multiple other type of restaurants in this area. But but then the other question becomes, what differs this from any other city?
John.
It's a bike. What differs this from any other city
So
centre?
that geezer there,
Yeah.
he's
Uh,
up to no good?
no, most likely not. He's waiting. I think he's waiting for a friend.
Right.
Yeah, he's waiting for somebody. So not yet. He got other social housing and stuff like that in there. Yeah, for anything. And so, no, that's offices, police. So it's a lot of police presence. This is how we battle it. Increase police presence constantly.
And what is the bureaucratic, the bureaucratic attitude towards people in Sweden that don't like the direction Sweden's going? So in England, you know, we basically have political prisoners now.
No, we don't.
They're being literally locked up for speaking out against this. What is it like here? If you were to speak out publicly, if you were to say something pretty unsavoury about it, what would happen?
Right now, I'm not worried. 2015, if you can mention differences, you couldn't. I wouldn't have been walking next to you.
Okay.
I'd be socially ostracized, losing friends over it, because you don't want to stick out.
Yeah.
It's all about being one of everybody else. In such a mental way, in a sense. Like, you're not supposed to be richer than anyone else. You're not supposed to that. You're not supposed to have racist opinions than anyone else. Exactly. Like, depending. Or not just racism. You can't debate.
Can't call a spade a spade.
You can't call a spade a spade. Thank you.
But that's different now.
Yeah. Now, as I mentioned it, even the higher echelon starts talking about this. That we have a problem. Obviously, the solution we don't have an agreement on. That will take a while. But we can say, hey, the spade is actually a spade. That's a start. Holy shit. 10 years ago, you couldn't.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to accelerate? I mean, if everyone's talking about the same problem and they're all saying what the problem is, why is the problem still here? Does that make sense?
Well, now every other party, like even the Social Democrats, are stating that, yeah, we had enough. We are the ones who wants to decrease immigration. We are the ones who want to do. Vote for us. So everyone's a populist in that sense. Everybody's changed their opinion based upon the zeitgeist. And it's like, like when one Swede sort of changes, everybody changes.
Right, okay.
So this is why
there is very much a collective thought here.
Yes, very much so.
It's a bit scary, isn't it? Because one day it's great because everyone's thinking what you're thinking. But the next day, they're all thinking what you're not thinking, and that's a dangerous place to be.
Yeah.
Would you say people are now starting to think a bit more for themselves? Or is it very much, it's still very much a collective, it's going to be a collective for a while?
It's always going to be a collective. Swedes are this way. It's not that every Swede has to agree with me, obviously not. But if every Swede at least can accept and talk about the issue, which they have started doing, I think we can solve it together. Like, I don't want to be, it's over. No. I also don't want it to end up as in with any attacks either. So it's like, I do think it's important to recognize we have a problem before people actually get into violence.
What's this happened to the young of Sweden? Because in Ireland, a lot of the young are leaving.
No, they're staying.
They're staying here.
Yeah. But they are very conservative. They're very right wing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, like the young are the affected generation.
Yeah.
Especially today, I feel bad for them. Genuinely, I feel bad for them. They have to deal with a lot of this. Schools today are not safe. Like the amount of shit that always constantly happen. I live a little bit down the road here, and it's just constant shit here in this area.
So this like.
But you see also that.
So this sort of CCTV presence up here.
Up here.
John, is this?
Yeah.
Is this a reaction to the new Swedes and what's happening, or?
Yeah. Yes, it is. You can see there as well. There's one. I haven't seen them before actually, but it has to be. Yeah. Nothing down there, but yeah, here. There's one over there. I have a sign there, so yeah, that's a new sign. I've not seen those signs before. So again, we're a little bit too early still, but here and here. There's been murders down here and such shit like that, not long ago. Like
what happened?
Birthday party. Some guy who didn't like me was 7 foreigners.
Is that gang on gang?
If you want beef footage on this area, This area here is why we forbade fireworks. Or a
Okay.
certain type of fireworks.
Why?
Because during New Year's, everyone gathers here with sort of box fireworks and shoots at people. It's chaotic. So
That sounds crazy.
yeah, they forbade it not long ago, a few years ago. I think they're doing another ban on a few other things because they keep coming here and shooting. So every time during New Year's, I leave the city because of the.
It becomes a party war zone.
Yes. But you can see, no one in these regions are Swedes. So far, there's not many people out because it's cold as hell. That's one thing. During the winter, when it's out,
Crime doesn't happen because it's cold.
it's cold. I mean, these people are not acclimated to the environment.
There is CCTV.
Oh yeah, that's from
everywhere.
the shooting. Yeah. Oh yeah, but this is new. This is all new.
Yeah, like camera.
So
camera.
yeah. There goes one,
Camera.
please.
Get another camera.
That's new. That's new. So yeah, I took. If you came here 2 years ago, it'd probably be more shit here now. But because of the cameras, I think it has calmed down. But this is also an area of labor focus. Like Social Democrats have their strongholds here. They own a park that's right nearby. They usually sell drugs. But that's what, so you see that's men holding up industry. Well, holding up the city.
What does camper mean?
Fight Örebro, like for the shooting. They had today we had a silent moment. For,
midday.
Yeah. Is that part of it? So, yeah, but the people living here are either, well, not those kinds. They don't live here. But the girls are like foreigners. These guys don't live here.
So the increased police presence.
Yeah.
Does that make you feel safer or more wary?
Safer.
Okay.
Palestine color. But this street here, horrid. Because there's a lot of assistant people also living in these types of housing. They get paid for by the government. There is that pub there is complete garbage. I've been choked in that place.
This now is starting to feel a little bit more like London.
Yeah.
A little bit more like the shitter houses in London.
Yeah, but as I said, the more we walk, the more you're going to see this. And then you're going to see a really nice area for some reason, and then you're going to see shit again. Okay, thanks, hi. For example, they're staring at us right now, for example.
Yeah.
You seeing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. Let's walk.
Oh, so is that a bit of a warning for us to?
Yeah, they don't like that we're filming this area. Well, not particularly them. They're probably curious, mixture curious, and also don't want us to film their shop because who knows what enemies they have, and they don't want that to be public and that type of stuff. Yeah, this is a shit area. I don't even go here during the light. It's vomit and pee on the ground.
Well, thank you for bringing me here.
Yeah, you're welcome. You wanted some adventure. But again, I just want to show you that it's still pretty nice. It hides.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've just seen a woman on her own, like, attracting attention.
Yeah.
And not feeling concerned.
Why would she? In her eyes.
Which, again, but I mean, you know, in the rest of Europe, no, you don't. Women don't really do that now because.
So depending on, obviously, everything is a gamble. But yeah, we should soon starting to head to another.
You speaking Swedish?
Yeah, speaking Swedish. Yeah. Most people speak Swedish, even the foreigners. But yeah, very nice area. Like housing here is pretty.
Yeah.
But this street here is kind of crap.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've just clearly walked past some gang members.
Yeah, a lot of that. I mean, if you live in the city, you choose to ignore it. You want to ignore it, but it's also like, is it your paranoia speaking, or is it? But also, you need to trust your paranoia a little bit, otherwise you get in danger.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen some of these areas, but not too much because I don't want to get his camera stolen.
You know, we were being eyed up by those chaps down there, and when we walked past those two blokes in that alleyway, they weren't there to play cards or.
No. But Rosengård, as you saw when you went there, it's just these types of housing all over the place.
And they're part of the national million.
Yeah. And a lot of the reason why they were placed in certain locations was revenge. So in Stockholm, obviously different from the city, a lot of this miljonprogram is placed next to very rich areas. It's just sort of, you're not gonna get away, because we will ensure that everybody gets equal treatment.
Yeah.
And there has been discussions as well with immigration that they want to mix all these people even more into the country. Instead of having a place with 85% immigrants, every place should have 50% sort of deal. Which has gotten a lot of pushback. So
yeah, cause in theory you can kind of understand, but you know we're beyond theory now. We now know practicality.
Yeah, precisely.
No, some cultures just don't mix.
Yeah.
And oil and water.
Yeah, precisely. And certain they don't want to mix either.
And that's the thing. There isn't that will to mix.
Yeah,
Otherwise they would.
But that was the issue we had again with in the 90s. We said everybody has to be us. You poor Serb. You have to be Swedish now. You're not allowed to be Serb. It's like, why not? I mean, sure. I mean, he's here because if the war reasons, and he's here because of the war reasons. Why should he then be forced to become Swedish?
I mean, I do kind of get that logic. As in, right, if you're gonna take part, if we are going to take you in, you're going to be part of our life. You're gonna.
But is it then temporary or is it permanent? That's the thing. Are they war refugees and will be here permanent, forceful to become Swedes? Or are they just here temporary because their country's in the war?
Good point. I suppose once you make them Swedes, then there's that legitimate argument to never go.
And that many times, it's another police officer. Many times, Afghans, for example, or something, they want to kick them out. They say, well, they have learned Swedish.
Yeah.
You see, this is another type of police. So you see a lot of police presence. The Albanian who bragged about the woman was in here. The tweet I had with if you read it, was a guy who had a 16-year-old white girl with him, and he's like stared at me while flexing that this is my woman. And I stared at him. Yeah, it was in there. I seen shit in there. That is just a normal convenience store. Nothing wrong with them, obviously, but it's just the area that they're in. It's always gonna get shit.
Yeah,
it's super expensive. And all of this is the commie area, so it's like.
Well, that's the interesting thing, actually. What has this done to the economic factors? Has this? Sweden has been known for a while, outside of Sweden anyway. It's an expensive place.
Yeah, it is.
Has this lowered prices raised them?
Raised them. So, the reason why a lot of collectives or communists live in these areas is just cheaper rent, quote unquote. But not anymore. Like, rent has gone up so much right now. Whoa, okay. You can also see usually when it's like, if you want to know if a place is good or bad, just look at the graffiti. Because we don't do dirty. We have we want everything to be clean. You can see how dirty this location is.
That is one thing I have noticed about Sweden. Even your national million projects. Clean. Grass is cut, it's clean, it's tidy, it looks well maintained. There's into the point where you look at it and you don't think, is that council housing?
Yeah, so cannabis. This right now there's nothing special on this one. This is a very famous wall where you're allowed to graffiti. Yeah, so more or less this is the center of the communist thing. There's like Antifa a little further down there, so a few other commie stuff. I live just one more street down that way.
So when did the increase in the police presence start?
2020 in particular increased a lot.
Like I've seen an unprecedented amount of police tonight.
Yeah.
Like I only ever in the UK, the amount of police we've seen tonight, I only ever see that much when there's just been some form of terror attack or major stabbing or something.
Yeah. But yeah, so we have police, and then we have also security companies, two of them. The issue, there's a big issue of corruption with Securitas in particular, one of our biggest private security companies, where a lot of the Green Party members have stocks in Securitas, so they actually earn money once crime goes up.
Yeah.
Which is a big issue. We're gonna go in here. Here is drug trade from time to time, but it's also heavy police presence. But this park is owned by the Social Democrats, but there's a house.
So a political party owns a park.
Yeah.
How is that the case?
Well, they ran Sweden for 70 years, like as a one-party system, more or less. So you're gonna love that one a little later. But yeah, no, they bought
Is
it
that
from
a mosque?
Yeah, it's
God.
it's a restaurant built as a mosque by a Jew during World War II era.
Wait, a Jew during World War II built a restaurant as a mosque?
Yeah, it was financed by the Swedish Democrats. Sorry, Social Democrats. Getting my parties mixed up. But yeah, all of this was previously farmland that they bought from the man who owned that house previously. Now they don't own it anymore. And then to mock him, or to mock the aristocracy, they built this park. So you have, if you walk in around the park, you're going to see different leaders. Per Albin Hansson, Tage Erlander, Olof Palme, and a few others, plus the mosque. Yes, very popular leader, Olof Palme. He was also in part of the end of the Folkhemmet, the people's home, where the economic situation became so taxing, literally, that some people paid more than 100% tax.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, because if you own your own company, your company takes a tax, and then you take a tax as a person. The taxes were so harsh that it became above 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, so with that, it was one of Ingmar Carlsson. Ingmar Carlsson. Forgot his last name. Ingmar Bergman. One of the Swedish most famous film directors that made the Chess with the Death, The Seventh Seal. Have you seen that movie?
No.
No, he plays chess with the devil to survive.
Okay.
It's incredibly popular, like one of the best movies. He was personal friends with him, and he still got taxed to high heaven, so he became a tax refugee.
Okay.
And
okay.
because of that, they had to rechange the entire system and liberalize the system.
Yeah.
Folkhemmet died, and that the nanny state died. So, yes, man. Very fitting and disgusting of
Like
them
Stalin.
to do that. No, that is Hjalmar Branting. Sorry, Hjalmar Branting. Mixed
With a
up.
hammer and sickle on him.
Yeah, he's anti-communist. So he's always been very popular with the elite. He had relations with the king and everything, 100 years ago. But in 1917 was the first time they got a majority in the parliament, away from the conservative opposition. And the conservative opposition was run by more or less the king. It was an aristocracy party. But he noticed that there's a lot of things happening right now, and the communists can take over. He had already gained control over all the unions in Sweden, more or less. He had cultural control of artists and writings. King loved him and other people loved him. So more or less in the 1970s, with that election, it was more or less a coup d'etat. Yes, he won the popular vote, but the king didn't like it. So the king decided he wanted to coup him. He went to the military, the king, says, the Social Democrats are going to take over and they're going to ruin everything. They're going to take away my power and everything. And the military said, no, fuck you. To the king, which had absolute power, more or less, at that point. This was more of a, they say it to the king and the king does it sort of deal, since the 1850s. And he get full control, and a big reason why he was so harsh, heavy-handed towards all of it, is because the Bolsheviks happening. The Bolsheviks took over in Russia, and they're having their influence in Sweden. Like, if he did not control the unions, we would have been a communist country.
He looks like the cross. If Ned Flanders and Stalin had a baby, that's what it would look like.
So the buildings in there is also the same thing. They help with the immigrants. Folk, see a lot of Somalis, but they have some own stuff. But they're probably in from that little collective area of housing. A lot of housing, social housing. This is part of the asylum system. You get placed in a house like this for 10 years and then you can't do anything.
Right.
For example, Ukrainians. We expected 300,000 Ukrainians to come here during the start of the war. Only 30,000 came.
Were they actually Ukrainian?
Yeah. We still have, even during COVID, we had fucking other people come. But no, with the Ukrainians, only 30,000 Ukrainians come. Why? They didn't want to get stuck in the system. The rumors that they've heard, oh, rats. Yeah, we have shit ton of rats, but that's a silly thing. This side, hog shite. That side, it's very much.
You can already tell, yeah.
Yeah. Like it's very much ghettoized into different regions like that. And the regions don't interact much with one another, weirdly enough.